Now, when you mention like what you're funding, you're talking about agriculture, about the small business that people are doing on the ground. I think that is very good, and definitely they are really interested to hear about that. Most of the time, people know that when it comes to embassy, these are places you only visit when you are in your tie, you are in your. You have to appear very formal, and I think so many people now shy away from that. But now away from that conversation, because President Kenyatta's visit to UK was really followed by so many young people here in the country, especially those who are now really beginning to be worried about this whole issue of loans and loans and loans. Have you followed recently the conversation around loans in Kenya?
I have, absolutely. And, as one of the biggest development partners, we want to make sure that any loans that Kenya has from the international community, from the World Bank, from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, are loans that are structured in such a way that they benefit Kenyans and are affordable by Kenya. So what we don't do, for example, is large infrastructure projects that just add to Kenya's debt burden, because Kenya can't afford that, and the money needs to be invested in the young people's futures.
And are you worried about the debt burden?
I think there's a lot of concern over the debt burden, absolutely, because the bigger your debt, the bigger your interest payments. It's like your own personal finances, right? As soon as you start to get into debt and you have to pay interest, you don't have as much income, you can't grow, you can't feed your kids. Helping Kenya restructure its debt so that it can afford to balance its books is something that the UK is supporting. So public-private finance, for example, so it doesn't go on the government's debt book, but private companies take the load of some of the infrastructure development, for example, is something that we're supporting, including with expertise in national treasury, because the debt needs to come down, and COVID has been so damaging to all of our economies, right? The UK's debt levels are much higher than they were 2 years ago because of COVID.